Hello, my name is Professor M, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Moving Arthritic Pain. Today I would like to give a brief history on how the American healthcare system got to the failed state that it's in. Okay, here we go. Back in 1540, the English Parliament passed a law stating that no one could practice medicine in the city of London unless they had been examined and approved by the College of Physicians and Surgeons under the Bishop of London. This was the first medical licensing act. The college then started harassing other healers in the community, so much so that by the year 1546, Parliament had to pass another law called the Herbalist Charter. The Herbalist Charter became part of English common law, and it was also used in the colonies. So by the time that America had won its independence from England, they had adopted the English common law, and the charter was part of that law. Now, in this charter, the Herbalist Charter, it gave the history of the physicians, the wise women, and the herbalists, which understood and knew that this was part of a long tradition in healing people. Okay, so now we'll fast forward a couple of hundred years from the 1500s, from the mid 1500s to around the mid 1800s. Now, at this time in America, doctors were poor. They had a very low standing in society. They had the highest rate of suicide amongst any profession. And there was only two types of medicine practiced then. Homeopathic, which is natural and non-toxic to the body, allows the body to heal itself and actually aids in healing the body. And allopathic, which is unnatural, toxic to the body, and the practitioners of allopathic medicine, they usually try to force a cure and to invoke a cure on the patient, which sometimes, most of the time, the patient would die of the cure, with allopathic measures being applied to them versus homeopathic methods being applied, and if they did die, they would die of the disease and not of the cure or so-called cure. Now, moving forward, it's down around 1900, 1910. And the homeopathic doctors, they were getting the business, they were healing people. But like I said, doctors they didn't have a high notoriety in this country, not as of yet. Now, here where the big tragedy happened. Big business got involved. The Rockefellers. The Rockefellers, they took over the system. The homeopathic doctors, the naturopathic doctors, they had their school of medicine, and through the American Medical Association and big business, and with that influence, they closed down the homeopathic schools and start building more allopathic schools. They control the oil companies, they control the drug companies, and yes, by the way, synthetic drugs is being made, drugs that can be patented. So what they did, the oil companies, the tobacco companies, which was controlled by Rockefellers and the Warburgs and the Morgans at that time, they invested in the drug companies and pretty much tried to drive the the homeopathic doctors out of business by controlling the state legislators as far as the licensees, by controlling the school curriculums, by controlling the graduation requirements that these doctors have to have to become good physicians. They were against all that. So by now we're up to the 1930s. And in the 1930s, that's when the Food and Drug Administration came into existence. Now, these group of people, a government agency now, they aided and abetted in the big business taking control of the medical system. Basically, what the bankers did back in 1913 to the banking system in America, the Rockefellers, basically the same people, the Rockefellers, the Warburgs, the Morgans, and others alike, took control of the medical system. And in this system, they promoted drugs, surgery, and radiation. This is their way of treating sickness, not by prescribing a sick person something that would help with their body, but they insisted on getting laws passed where they can dope people up, cut them open, cause it costs money to cut you open, and give you a radioactive substance in order and in hopes that that will cure the ailment. And that did not cure the ailment at all. Most of the time, people got worse off or died.